Woke up today, see a little bit of frost there on the ground. Things are looking cold. Might be time to take a look at those sprinklers. That's where it comes from the house and goes out to the yard. All right, you can see a little valve on there. We're gonna shut that off, but we'll get to that. All right, Shannon, I'm gonna show you what to do now when we have to blow the sprinkler lines out, the irrigation system in the lawn. I start here and I grab a wrench like this. Here we go, a crescent wrench. All right, then we get out here. So this is where the water comes out of the house and then it goes down into the lawn. Actually, it hits a box down here with a bunch of valves that distributes it to each of the heads. But the point is, the water comes down here. What we want to do right now is we want to turn this valve. This valve right here, there's an isolation ball valve. We're going to turn that off. Now, no more water will flow down here, okay? What we're going to do next is we're going to take off this guy right here. Okay, so we took out that plug. The water is stopped here, so nothing will go down there. What we're going to do next is we're going to go hook up the compressor and we're going to put that on here. So instead of the water pressure coming down here and going through the heads, what we're going to use is we're going to use compressed air from our compressor downstairs, and we're going to hook it in here, and that is going to blow out all of these lines. So I'll keep going with that. In the meantime, we're going to take this and we will set it aside because we will need it later. I'll even leave this here. Let's go. So now we're down here in the little shop area, and we do have this compressor. This is a little pancake type compressor. Not big enough for our system. We have too many zones. I do use that at my Angenine's to blow out hers. She's only got like, I think it's just one zone. So that fits the bill there. For our house, we have too many zones. I think we have 8 zones. So we're gonna go with this guy. So step 1, let's see. Unwind. All right. Now, let's see if that'll fit. We may need some more. Well, that tells me a little something. Should be a little more prepared when we do this stuff. All right, so we've unspooled everything. We brought the hose out to the valve area. I do leave this here. All right, this is gonna be the next part of this equation here. This is a fitting that we're gonna put on the end of the hose, and then it's gonna connect also to the little port that we took the plug out of. So that'll connect us to this pressurized system. So I'm just gonna take this off here now. Try not to forget to put it back after we're done. Now we have our fitting here. We plug this in, it's got power. I would say when you're done with this, make sure to unplug it, all right? Because it may cycle on and off and is pretty loud, as you'll see in a second. But anyway, we got our fitting, we got our hose. Now we're gonna go up this drawer right here. We'll grab this guy, a decent set of these. Now we're back up here, all right? We have our valve off still, and we're open, all right? So if we open this valve, water is gonna come flying out. Do not do that. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna put this fitting right in here, right where we pulled the plug out. There we go. You don't have to do it super tight. We're just doing this for, we're just trying to get maybe an hour out of it. But then again, you don't want it leaking all over the place again. This fitting's nothing fancy, so we don't care what we do with it. Now, here we have this type of fitting. That'll mate with the end of this hose, okay? Pull it back, push it in, and then let go. So, here we go. Pull it back, push it in until it snaps. Might have to twist it, but it's in there. So now if you think about it, water from here back to the house, we've got that controlled. The valve is closed. But now we've got a column of water here that we have to press out, push out. We're gonna use the compressor for that. So now we go back downstairs. Let's go. So now we're back down at the compressor. We just made the connection with our fitting and the hose to the pipe. So what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna turn this on, which is gonna get pretty loud. So we're gonna turn this on, and then we're gonna go upstairs into the garage where we can control all the zones and have them blow out just from this. So let's turn this on, get everything pressurized. Now keep in mind, this will not go anywhere. When we blow the air through this hose, it's gonna go into that connection that we made. It's gonna have nowhere to go, all right? Because the pressure is gonna be pushing on a column of water, all right, which is being held back by the sprinkler heads. So until someone tells the sprinkler heads to open, all that water stays in the pipe. So we got to take that air, move it out, get it to blow out the sprinkler heads. I'm gonna show you how to do that next. So here we go, upstairs. I'll flip this on. We're up in the garage now. Here is our little control panel for the irrigation system. Here's who you can call if you have trouble. I'll put this in the QR code as well with a number. And I just want to point this out. This over here is a little diagram I made. It's got all the zones indicated so you can have an idea of which zones you're blowing out. I think we have 8 zones. So anyway, I hear the compressor downstairs. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but it is humming along. I'm gonna assume we're getting up to pressure. It will shut off as a safety feature when it gets to a certain pressure, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put this in run. What this is gonna do is it's gonna send an electrical signal over to zone 1 valve. The valve will open up, and then that air is gonna push the water through all the way to the head and basically evacuate the line. So let's see if this will go here. We're gonna put that in run. And what I like to do is I think hold this down. There you go. This means zone 1 is gonna run for 20 minutes. Now, I kind of let that go until I go outside, and we're gonna go out and we're gonna see all the water pressing out the heads. And when the water stops coming out and you just hear air coming out the head, you know that your line is blown out. I like to do it one more time afterwards. I don't know if that's required, but essentially that's it. So you're gonna do that for each zone. You're gonna run through every zone 1 through 8. Let the charge build up, the pressure build up in the tank downstairs. Once that has built up, you're gonna come back here and you're just gonna cycle through the zones and open those valves so that you get all the water out of these pipes. So that's that. We'll go outside and take a look, see how it's going. Let's go.
Going good.
All right, so here's what's going on. You can see, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, looks like four heads on this zone. The air right now is pushing through that valve that's open for zone 6. This is zone 6. And you can see the water getting pushed out of the pipe and through the head. Now you can see down here with these guys, come on down here. When you get to this point, you're doing pretty good. You can see it's just kind of blowing out some vapor, which is mostly air and a little bit of water left over. But now if you scan over here, some of them are a little stronger than the others. So you got to get to that vapor point, and probably even a little further for all of these. So I've never had a problem. Here's a head. This is what happens. It looks like it's a normal operation and everything. It is not. It's being pressed out by a column of air. Now this is quite a run out to these heads. So there's going to be more water in that pipe. It's going to take a little longer to get all the water out. Just see what happens to this stream. This is a long one, isn't it? These going this long? That's a lot of water in that pipe. There we go. All right, so now we're getting to the end, and you'll just see this start bleeding off. Looks like kind of vapor. So that's mostly air. So we're to the end. All right, what I do now at this point, when I get every head kind of close, so once that one gets a little closer, a little more vapor, I will go back into the garage and I will switch it to the next zone. That will open up another valve. I may take a little break in between zones just to build up some pressure on the system, but I just walk right through 1 through 8. We have 8 zones. Just walk through it like this. You'll get to this point here, do it again, and you should be fine. So I usually run through this process twice. 8 zones times 2. Takes maybe an hour and a half, but that's about it. Here we are, we're back outside, back at the main valve. We basically evacuated all the water out of all the zones 1 through 8, so that takes care of everything down here. We did that with the compressed air pushing on it. There's a known issue I have with this. There's like a hairline crack back here, and I think the reason it's there is because somebody had this valve closed and blew out the lines, but they didn't do anything with the water that's in the basement, traveling through the basement. And yeah, it's traveling through a basement, like 99% of it, but then there's another 1% from like here over to here, that if you have water in there, it's gonna freeze over the winter, guaranteed. I still have some air on here, so watch what happens when I start to crack this. I think you'll see it. Yeah, it's not a big deal. So anyway, something that's interesting, and it's proof that if you leave any water up in here over the winter, it freezes, it expands, and it gives you those cracks. I kind of got lucky. Mine will continue to work. Okay, so now we're down in my office area, and the reason we're down here, now I want to drain and blow out, I guess, a little bit into the house. I don't want any columns of water sitting outside, and if you remember that valve outside, it was outside, so there's going to be pressure on that all the way up to the valve. If that's outside, that can freeze, and it will freeze. So I'm going to try and relieve some of the pressure back here so that that can come back into the house. Here's where that happens. So behind these whiteboards, we're gonna open these guys up. This is where we have all our mechanicals. We have our electrical here. This is the fire protection inside the house. I'll go over that on another video. If you come over here, you can see where I've got this. This one's labeled, looks like house cold water supply. So this valve will turn the entire house off, all right? So we'll have nothing in the house if you turn that off, all right? That's not what we're doing right now. You probably don't want to turn that one off. This blue one over here, this is our irrigation line, all right? One way I can tell is because it's got this device right here. This is a backflow prevention valve. We don't want any water coming back in from our irrigation system and infiltrating our drinking water. And then it could even make its way back into the city water and contaminate everybody else. So you need one of these guys on all of these systems. Okay, so anyway, what we're gonna do here, we're gonna relieve some of the pressure. So here's how I do it. You can see we have a little quarter turn valve here. See this little bottom one? So I'm gonna shut that, all right? So now none of this water from the city is gonna be able to get past this valve. It's closed. And here's a little tip. See how it's kind of going back and forth this way across the valve? That means it's closed. This one's open. Like if you were a piece of water, you would flow right through this valve. This one you can see there's gonna be a little wall there. So you're gonna hit that. So this valve's closed, this one's open. I'm gonna leave this open because that's exactly what we want. We want this water to come down here and we're gonna drain it, all right? Right out of this tube, which I've already got set up here. I just do this every year. So here's how we go about doing that. Basically, I just come up here, that's open, this one's closed. Now we're just gonna make a little like quarter turn on here. It will probably come out pretty fast because there's some air pressure on there. Now I'm gonna remember to close that up, and what I like to do is I'm gonna close that again. So now we got double protection here, triple, quadruple protection on our city water. So anyway, that's what we have to do inside to kind of drain the water that is in the basement, if you will. Now we're gonna go back out and we're gonna finish this whole project up. Now we're gonna go back and we're gonna get rid of this guy right here and button this up for the winter. First thing we gotta do, all right, we're gonna leave this closed, okay? And we're gonna take off this fitting. Before we take that fitting off, we're gonna take this compressed air off. And this part, you gotta do it quick. It's kind of like taking off a Band-Aid. You gotta stand still. Oh. Air is off. This is all in atmospheric. There's no pressure in any of this stuff, so we're good to go. It's safe. And I am just gonna take this off here. Man, put that on pretty good, I guess. There we go. I usually don't put it on that tight. I do think I heard some leaks coming out when I attached the hose, so I think I tightened up a little extra, which I probably did have to do ultimately, but it doesn't have to be that tight. At the end of the day, this is just a fitting. We can make this again in 5 minutes, so I don't care if we eat that up and all that kind of stuff if it starts to rust. That's no big deal. It's just gonna sit down there for another year on the compressor, so when we remember to put it back on. And we're gonna put the cap back on. We will come back. I'm gonna leave that loose. I'm gonna come back in just a minute. I'm gonna get some pipe thread. I'm back. I went down and I grabbed some of this tape that we're gonna put on the threads here just to kind of minimize leaks. I usually use a white tape. This one happens to be gray. This is the only one I could find downstairs. It says it's good for gas and water, so I'm gonna throw it out. This is not very critical. Anyhow, I don't know how you guys do this. I always seem to struggle a little bit with remembering which way to go on this. Make it easy. Sometimes it comes back on itself, but I think I got lucky. So we got that on there. Now we'll put a couple turns here. We're gonna wanna tighten this up pretty good because it's not gonna be opened back up until next year about this time when we want to blow the line out again. There's really no reason to loosen this up or take it off again until next fall. So we'll leave it like that. We'll leave the valve like this. There's no pressure. Everything's at atmospheric. Water's out of the lines, so we are good for the winter. And that's about it for this job. So thanks.